Detta program, Världslandbron, världsomspännande utveckling av infrastrukturkorridorer som Helga Zepp-LaRouche initierat 1990, bedrivs idag av flera länder, i synnerhet i Asien, som aktiv politik. Detta därför att det gått upp för regeringarna där att de endast kan förbättra sin situation om de besegrar underutvecklingen. Samarbetet mellan dessa länder, i synnerhet Ryssland, Kina och Indien, visar att fred genom utveckling äger allmän giltighet. Sverige och Europa har mer och mer avvikit från denna målsättning och istället hängett sig att förstöra den reala ekonomin under den irrationella högriskspekulationens och den människofientliga miljörörelsens mantra. Det råder en påhittad strid mellan marknadsliberalernas läger som höjt penningaffärer till lag och miljövännerna som håller människan som lägre djurart ansvarig för allt elände på jorden. Det här är ett iscensatt spel för att avleda uppmärksamheten från lösningar på krisen. Detta ser man på det faktum att många radikala miljörörelser på så kallad gräsrotsnivå finansieras av samma hedgefonder och EU-byråkrati som gav oss den ekonomiska krisen. Till dessa räknas även aktivistorganisationer som Camp Act, BUND och Klimatalliansen, vilka alla erhåller anslag från European Climate Foundation, ECF, i vars styrelse vi för övrigt återfinner vice ordförande för Tysklands största bank, Deutsche Bank, Kai Koch-Weser. En ansenlig mängd storbolag och bank- och försäkringskoncerner gör sig stora förhoppningar om den nya bubblan kring så kallade gröna teknologier, vilka propagerar raka motsatsen till Bibelns "var en fruktsamma och föröken eder och uppfyllen jorden och läggen den under eder". Alltså motsatsen till vad mänskligheten alltid gjort, nämligen växa och utveckla nya levnadssätt. Större delen av världen vill däremot ha utveckling, vilket vi precis visat. Och ironin är att många relevanta teknologier kommer från Europa, i synnerhet Tyskland. Europeiska verktygsmaskiner, industriparker och andra produkter är på grund av sin kvalitet och funktionsduglighet eftertraktade i hela världen. Varför används de knappt hemma i Europa? Framtiden kan skänka oss guld och gröna skogar bara vi åter bejakar teknologiskt framåtskridande. Inbyggt säker kärnkraft med högtemperaturreaktorer, full bränslecykel med den snabba briderreaktorn eller flyg på 0 meters höjd med magnettågen. Inom alla områden som berörs av Världslandbrons utveckling skapas miljoner arbeten av vilka Sverige kan erbjuda många. Ungdomen återfår framtidstron och välfärden fungerar igen. Vill vi verkligen att tiden ska stå still i Europa? Ska vi bli ett jättemuseum av före detta industriländer?
Now, if the world comes out of this crisis, and I can only hope that the vision of how bad it is and how bad it is threatening to become is evoking a power in people that they fight to change it now. You have to stop to be indifferent. If you remain only a person for yourself and say, oh, Africa, I don't care. People in Mexico, I don't care. Well, then we are not going to make it. What you have to start cultivating coming out of this conference, if you haven't done it already, is a passion for mankind, a passion for the other. Because only if you have this love for the community of peoples, and I mean all peoples, that we can really unleash the kind of change and movement which is required. Now, what will be the European role in this? Obviously, we have to reject imperialisms of all kinds, above all British imperialism. Well, I think we need a Europe which has national cultures, as Lynn was saying this morning, where the state is catalyzing the creative abilities of all of its citizens because it is the greatest source of wealth also for the economy. Now, European nations have to come back to their senses because it is very clear that we are at a situation where China and India will be the biggest factors in the future. These two countries alone presently already have a population of 2.5 billion. That's more than 1/3, just two nations. And, you know, Lynn has written this beautiful book a couple of years ago, The Next 50 Years on the Planet, you know, where he basically says what has to be the cooperation of, you know, small nations, big nations, nations which have raw materials, nations which have landlocked areas, countries on the seaside. And we have to have this kind of a long-term, multi-level cooperation on joint economic programs like the Eurasian Land Bridge as the cornerstone for the reconstruction of the world economy, but it has to go together with a renaissance, an emotional change, a cultural renaissance, and, you know, people really have to change. People have to value not money, but people have to value their creativity. They have to value a fulfilled life of contributing something immortal to the next generation. And I think we can do it, but you have to help. We all have to work like we never did before, because our job in the next period is to catalyze in Europe the kinds of alliances which will work together with the United States, Russia, China, and India. And then I think there is hope.
It's very clear. It's a funny thing. It's very clear to almost all of our generation that we have no future and that something's very, very wrong with the world in which we live in. But we're in a funny position because we were never taught that there was anything else that could be here besides what we have. So you get this funny thing where you're talking to people in our generation. You tell them, look, you know, you're listening to shit music. You're listening to you're watching terrible movies. You're watching, you know, you ask them, well, why are you doing this? Why are you smoking marijuana? And they get very defensive. And they say, well, look, sometimes I just need to get away. I just need to relax. And, you know, you ask them, and they should ask themselves, well, what is it that you need to get away from? You know, what is so wrong? Does it make sense to you that the world should be such that you hate being in it so much that the only way it's tolerable is if you put yourself into a catatonic state? You know, you find something that makes everything entertaining. That all they know is that there's a void there, that there's something missing. They don't know what it is. And so they try to erase their knowledge of it. You create conditions where there's so much noise, there's so much chaos, there's so much just banal entertainment around you that you don't notice. You try to numb yourself to the feeling that something's missing. It doesn't work, and you know, you suffer from that emotionally without knowing what the cause of it is. You know you're missing something, but you don't know what it is, and so you just feel this void. What we've got the chance to do right now is to really make clear what it is that's missing. What's the right of every human being on this planet to connect themselves to an immortal mission that connects them to generations that have never yet to be born and generations that supposedly died long ago, that puts them in a conscious dialogue with all of that, that takes them as an individual and gives them the possibility in their lifetime to transcend time, that puts them in touch with the real sense, the very, very real, literal sense of their own immortality, their immortal existence as a human being. That's what a project like NWAPA means. And you give them a chance to look into the future, to look, you know, decades, you know, but even centuries, millennia, to the extent you can, into the future, at least to see that there's an arc and to realize that their impact, their existence resonates all the way that far. If what they've done with their life matters, if they do something important and meaningful with their life, their existence resonates up to that point, and they can form a mental image of that. That's the right that we're giving back to the youth of the world today.